Okay, so in Boy Scouts, every troop should be a boy-led troop. So basically, what that means is the boys, the scouts, are the ones that are in charge of everything, and we want to avoid this situation. All right. So here's just a little overview of the positions. So we have adult leaders and we have scout leaders. So you'll see adult leaders are separate because they take care of like duties and logistics and stuff that are pretty much separate from what goes on at trips, at meetings and stuff. That's all run by the scouts. So you'll see in scout leadership, we have the senior patrol leader on the top, and the senior patrol leader has their assistant senior patrol leader that's directly below them, and then each patrol leader reports to the senior patrol leader. Patrol leaders have an assistant patrol leader that help them, and then we down here we have all these other leadership positions that report to the assistant senior patrol leader, or if there's something else that's more important, they would also go to the senior later. So for that, we have, all these, some of them are senior patrol positions, some of them aren't. So basically, the whole idea around having all these different types of jobs is something called delegation. What that means is instead of one person having to lead and take care of everything, we have different people do different roles. And so that way they can just focus on that one thing. And then one person, like the senior patrol leader, isn't completely overwhelmed and can stay focused on keeping everything. So now we're going to go through each role. So first off, we have the senior patrol leader. The senior patrol leader is in charge of planning and leading the PLC. They have to plan and lead all meetings. They lead outings and trips. They lead the senior patrol and have just normal patrol duties, and they delegate duties to the senior patrol. They assign specific duties to other leaders in the troop. They assist Scoutmaster and training leaders, oversee planning efforts of scouts for all troop events. That kind of goes along with the PLC thing. Overall, just set a good example. So that means, wearing their uniform whenever that's appropriate, not moving off when that's appropriate, being quiet as soon as the sign is put up, or putting up the sign themselves to make sure that everybody stays quiet when appropriate. And of course, the senior patrol leader is one of the main connections between the adult leadership and the scout leadership. And these are some pictures of me because I'm the senior patrol leader.
So the SPL, their main job is actually they have two major roles. One of them is helping out the senior patrol leader. So if the senior patrol leader can delegate them work to get to delegate to other people. If he needs to plan something, I end up going to like a lot of things that the senior patrol leader would also have to go to, or I do some work planning, I guess. And also the other thing is filling in when the senior patrol leader is not there. So the reason that they have two senior patrol leaders is even if one assistant senior patrol leader is absent, there's always one to fill in for the senior patrol leader. A lot of times they have to run meetings, run trips, be in charge, kind of take the SPL spot basically.
Yeah, and our two assistant senior patrol leaders are Nate and Ben.
All right, so the JASM is someone who's normally like typical leadership position. So they're like the assistant to the Scoutmaster appointed by the Scoutmaster. They follow the guidance of the Scoutmaster and they provide support, supervision to the other boys in the troop. In our troop, we have our JASMs specialized in different areas. For example, we have a not ninja JASM and an inclusion one, and hopefully soon we will have more.
Our JASMs currently are CR, Joe D'Angelo, Dylan, and soon we're going to have.
Yeah, I'll be a JASM soon.
So quartermaster. So basically, maintain all the troop gear and all the labels that's on all the troop gear. Make sure it's in good repair and all that. We also issue gear to people that need to borrow it for like backpacking trips. We issue backpacks and all that. Suggest or replace items. That we get a lot of stuff that ends up getting broken and needs to be replaced. And also loading up the trailer for each trip. It's a big enough load that we usually have multiple people so that they can all help out.
And who are our quartermasters?
Colin and Caleb. And Michael Jennings is about to step in.
Okay, so next is Scribe. I am currently the Scribe. So what I do is, I mean, obviously I attend as many meetings as possible, though this position specifically is expected to have at least 75% attendance. I usually, keep a log whenever I can, like about what we talk about at the Patrol Leaders Council or just general meetings. I also record individual scout attendance and sometimes progress, though we do have an advancement chair who has been doing that recently. Set a good example and live by the Scout Oath law, lead by example. So that's, pretty much it for that.
There he is.
Next is the Eagles Nest captain. This position is exclusive to Troop 113. That's cool. They plan and run the Eagles Nest meetings. They provide assistance and guidance to aspiring Eagle Scouts. They should be a scout who is working on earning Eagle Scout themselves and should always be available for Nest members to reach out with questions or concerns. I am the current Eagles Nest captain.
To step in for a moment. The previous positions that we covered were all senior patrol positions. So now everything after that will not be.
The patrol leader. So there are patrol leaders, one for each patrol, obviously, and they lead their patrol. So they are in charge. They report back to the senior patrol leader, but they are in charge for all the boys in their patrol. They can delegate to their patrol members. They will help plan meals for camping trips. They will set a good example, and they will help each individual member of their patrol with advancement and with staying involved in scouting.
Assistant patrol leader. The assistant patrol leader is appointed by their patrol leader. They don't need to be first class. And then I don't think this is an official position, so it doesn't count for rank requirements. They basically just help the patrol leader. So this is more just kind of helping out. You know, this guy probably has a lot less experience. You know, it helps to gain experience and become a patrol leader one day. A patrol guide is a little bit different than assistant patrol leader because they are usually an older scout that has more experience. They've probably been a patrol leader themselves. The whole point of a guide is not to do things for the patrol leader because the patrol leader needs to learn how to do it themselves. So they like mentor them and they teach the patrol leader how to do things on their own. To enable the patrol leader basically become a better patrol leader and learn. And it's not to overstep and take over the job of the patrol leader. So the guide should be kind of working in the background, giving guidance to the actual patrol leader.
The den chief, a scout from, in our example, from our troop who goes down to a Cub Scout pack and is the den leader for them. Some of you new scouts might have had a den chief when you're still in Cub Scouts. The den chief works with an adult den leader and keeps the Cub Scouts in their den engaged in scouting.
I might add that that's a very important position because the Cub Scouts will listen to that den chief a lot faster than he would talk or listen to an adult leader. That den chief has the power to bring new scouts into the troop. It's a crucial and critical position.
The librarian sets up and takes care of the library. So like badge, pamphlets, things like that. Keeps records of books and pamphlets owned by the troops. Adds new or replacement items as needed. Keeps them available for borrowing and keeps a system for checking them in and out and following up on late returns.
Our current librarian is Kevin Olmstetter.
The instructor is a scout in the troop who teaches valuable skills. Instructors can train scouts for important achievements such as the totemship and firemanship, which you need to have like a pocket knife to make fires, and also help scouts gain the knowledge they need to gain requirements in first aid, knots, and other requirements in general.
We have a firemanship instructor and a totemship instructor. Colin teaches firemanship and Ben does totemship.
I know we
Some other
used to have a
people.
not instructor.
Yeah, I think it was Alex Cohen.
We'll have to look at those positions again to see if there are other scouts that need leadership positions that could benefit from that other than Colin and Ben and those guys. So maybe a younger group of scouts.
Next up is Webmaster. They help maintain the website, so they work with Adult Webmaster, who I believe is Mr. Mavrodakis. And they basically just help to maintain the website. Also, I think in our case, we're going to have the Webmaster be in charge of the YouTube channel. Basically just maintenance on the website, maybe uploading some pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Chaplain's aid. They assist the troop chaplain with troop activities, encourage troop members to strengthen their own relationships with God through personal prayer and devotion, and participation in religious activities. Tell scouts about the religious emblems program, make sure holidays are considered during the troop program planning process, help plan for religious observance and troop activities, and encourages saying grace at meals while camping or other activities.
And our current chaplain's aide is James Cavallero.
The troop historian is in charge of collecting troop memorabilia and items important to the troop. The historian also is in charge of keeping a track of activity in the troop. For example, making journals and writing about trips, as well as taking attendance at trips. They're also responsible for having journals and items available to show members in the troop if they want to see to learn more about the troop's history.
Finally, we have the bugler. If I'm not mistaken, we recently got a bugler after not having one for a while.
It's Peter Rocco.
Peter Rocco. So pretty much they just play bugle as requested by troop leadership. Just whenever, either during meetings or on trips, we need someone to play bugle. Play taps during evening closing ceremony, like at the end of trips, the night before we leave. We'll all stand near the flag, they'll lower it, and the bugler will play taps. Usually, the bugler is expected to arrive 5 minutes before the start of troop meetings and have roughly 50% participation in meetings and outings.
Is it too much to ask for reveille at summer camp?
It is not.
Might
We haven't
have
done
a-
that before, but that's definitely something we should do.
Love
Yeah,
to
they
get
also
fed.
get a practice at home.
All right. I believe that's it.